So you grew up in Igbanke, and I too, who is speaking with you, grew up in Igbanke too. And while I was in school then, I used to remember we have a very big library attached to the old maternity, close to the police station. But today, I think nothing like that exists. How do our people, our boys and girls in secondary school, where do they go and read? And what do we do to help these people out to have a library where they can go and pick up books and read?
Yes, I mean, in those days when we grew up, we had that library, like you rightly mentioned, but that is the biggest problem. Our infrastructure then, we had it then, is no more. Our library, for example, our people had nowhere to read. I mean, they struggle throughout, the education within Igbanke. The only reasonable place they go to read is Agbo. That we are heavily reliant on Agbo. We go to Agbo for virtually everything. So they go to Agbo to study, but often than not, if you don't have the money to travel, and then you're stuck there and you have nothing to actually um to fall back upon. So it's almost like educating, having education without the equipment. So how is that possible? So our people is almost suffering half-baked education. They have no resources to rely on. We're talking about library that is hard copy books. What about there's no internet? Thank God to mobile phones, but there's very little you can do with mobile phones. Recently, the banker student worldwide actually had a luncheon, which we were duly represented at that event, and they had plans which were supporting. INPA is highly supportive of them to ensure that we pull collectively as a community to make our library functioning again. That in itself is a very huge project to make it function. And that is the same reason we are relying on the government to furnish our library, to do something better, to make it a lasting facility rather than people pulling together and buying, donating books, and tomorrow they're out of date and there's no maintenance, which is the problem we've always had. So, in a nutshell, we put together as a community, but the fact remains that we need our library. We need government to do something. And Oshomole, you have to give Comrade Adams the credit because he's the only governor that has actually traveled to Igbanke once, twice to see the situation on ground for himself. And we recently commended him. We sent a congratulatory message to Adams, imploring him to do more for Igbanke. And these are the areas we'll be highlighting as time goes on. Currently, he's doing the hospitals, he's constructing roads, and hopefully he will come to that library to make sure that our people are no longer deprived of the very basic amenity to study.
What about ICT, that is information technology? There's nothing like that right away now in the banking, and our people could have maybe liked to go to the net to check up information, but there's nothing like that. Don't you think we will come to that? You will be having your meeting next this year, that you maybe call on some rich individuals to help out here?
Well, that is something that's actually been on the agenda. We have some people, our members, INPA members, who are very happy with what we are doing, but do not actually know how to operate the internet. So we're thinking of how to actually make like an internet cafe available so that people can go there and learn. I know that there is one recently with my Anioma connection. There's one at Asaba that people could go to, but that is very far. So hopefully in due course, and I'm hoping that other good, well-meaning Igbanke people would actually put together, because I believe in the collective will of the people to actually engender positive change. So people can actually take on that initiative and support us to ensure that we have an internet cafe where people can go and surf online and browse, read news, and even use it for the education and study. So